Good morning. Our first issue is Delhi protests and related bail issue. Recently, Delhi High Court has granted bail for three people who were arrested in CAA related protests. Delhi High Court said right to dissent is not equivalent to terrorism. That's why it has granted three people with the bail. But the Delhi police said there is a clear evidence of terrorism and these people were arrested under Unlawful Activities Prevention Act and there is evidence of NIA investigation. Then they have appealed to the Supreme Court. But in this context, what we have to understand is right to protest without causing any national security implications cannot be called as terrorist activity. With regard to bail, Supreme Court in 2019 said that prima facie, if the charges are not substantiated, they can be granted with the bail. In this particular case, 620 to 650 people were mentioned as a witness. To cross-examine all of them, it takes a lot of time, long time. In this context, granting bail can be seen as a good thing. Next issue is drone delivery of vaccines. Recently, ICMR has called for a pilot project wherein vaccines would be delivered to the remote and inaccessible areas. And ICMR has given certain guidelines saying that it should apply to the beyond visual line of sight. But as per the current provisions, as per the current drone regulations, Ministry of Civil Aviation permits only visual line of sight drones, not beyond visual line of sight. So, in this regard, coordination is needed. Coordination is needed between two ministries. With regard to formulating these guidelines, Ministry of Civil Aviation is already planning to allow the drones beyond visual line. So, maybe this would be the opportunity. And vaccine delivery through drones, if it is done on a faster pace, it can enhance India's capabilities in vaccine delivery. Next issue is fertilizer subsidy. Recently, the cabinet has approved for hike in the fertilizer subsidy for this Kharif season as a COVID relief measure. It has increased the fertilizer subsidy with regard to potassium and phosphate to 140% of hike. That means earlier also government was giving certain percentage of subsidy that was increased to 140 percentage. Now we call nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium as big three. These are the main constituents of any fertilizer. Except urea, all other fertilizers are decontrolled now. Decontrolled means fertilizer company can sell these at market rate only. Subsidies are not provided by the government. Government won't control the prices. But urea prices are still controlled by the government. Now, government wants to give relief to the farmers. That's why it has provided for subsidy hike. But government also mentioned that this is because internationally prices are increasing. This is going to be one-time measure. Next issue is Deep Ocean Mission. In 2019, this mission was proposed. 2019 with the proposed budget of 8,000 crores. Now, finally, in 2021, Cabinet has approved for Deep Ocean Mission. Very few countries have these kinds of missions. In India, we have Ministry of Earth Sciences, which is going to be the nodal agency for implementation of this mission. This phase 1 of this mission is going to be implemented between 2021 to 2025. It is going to be multi-agency initiative because various research possibilities are there. So, multiple agencies would be involved in this. The main objective of this is to harness economic and environmental potential of the deep ocean region. India is granted with 75,000 square kilometer area in the Central Indian Ocean Basin by UN International Seabed Authority for the exploration of polymetallic nodules. We are going to use this mission for this particular thing. Second thing, we want to understand the marine ecology, climate change and its impact over the marine ecology. For that also, submarine studies can be done under this particular mission, Deep Ocean Mission. We have to understand it in little more depth. Next issue is Trans ID portal. This is a national portal to issue the IDs for transgenders. Transgenders are granted with the IDs. They can use these to avail any of the reservations and other benefits. In this context, one of the problems is, as of now, the regional languages in which this portal provides services is limited. So, to increase its reach, this portal needs to be designed in multiple regional languages which cater to all groups across the country. Next issue is Ordnance Factory Board corporatization. Last year in budget, Ordnance Factory Board corporatization was proposed. Now the cabinet has approved for that. There are 41 factories under Ordnance Factory Board, which is under Defense Ministry. Now these would be turned into seven defense public sector undertakings. This measure is taken, one, to enhance the self-sufficiency in defense manufacturing, two, to enhance the operational efficiency of this Ordnance Factory Board. Next issue is automation and job loss. Recent report from UN and others says that robot process automation (RPA) is leading to 3 million job losses by 2030, especially the low skilled jobs such as IT enabled services, BPO services, etc. In this context, as India is called as hub of world's BPO, we need to see this from this context, and we need to upskill the people. That's how we can save the employment, we can reduce the unemployment in this sector. Next, let us come to the editorials. First one is Enrica Lexi case. Few years back, Italian mariners who were onboarding this Enrica Lexi ship. This is a commercial ship, but two mariners were appointed from the Italian government. So they shot two Kerala men thinking that they were pirates. That became a huge issue. These people were arrested. This happened in the contiguous zone. Supreme Court said we have the jurisdiction, and Italy went to Permanent Court of Arbitration under UNCLOS, United Nations Convention on Law of Seas. UNCLOS said both the countries have concurrent jurisdiction, but India doesn't have the jurisdiction to trial these two mariners because they are the government appointees. That's why it said no jurisdiction, and then Italy has agreed for paying 10 crore rupees as compensation. Supreme Court is going to wind up this particular case. In this, what we can say is, such issues can be solved, yes, on a sound legal principles, plus with the diplomatic effort. Then only we can resolve this issue as soon as possible. Next issue is FDI flows into India and the analysis. Recently, according to the government statistics, 2020 and 21 has received $81 billion as FDI, which is 10% more as compared to that previous year. It means even during that crisis period, we received more FDI. Government said this is because of the reforms, but then there is other side to it. What is it? Disinvestment. That means parallelly those who are disinvesting and moving out of India is also increasing $27 billion. And out of this 81 odd billion dollars, $38 billion came as P-note route, participatory route. Through that, $38 billion came in. What is this participatory route? The one who is investing in India is an institution. With them, some other person goes and registers. They won't directly come to India and invest through SEBI regulation. They, in their country, they find someone who can invest on their behalf. So in general, P-notes are seen with suspicion because of money laundering chances. But anyway, P-notes, it's more, and big companies dominated the flows, especially Reliance. Facebook and Google, etc., they invested in Reliance. That's one issue. That means if we see this skewedness, very few companies got majority of the share of the FDI. If we remove top 5 FDI receivers, our overall FDI receipts would be very less. And 80% of the FDI flow into the service sector, especially to IT and IT enabled services, but not into the manufacturing or PLI scheme. PLI means production linked incentive. There are 13 sectors under PLI. Not into this, but into service sector. That means there is skewedness. Companies wise skewedness is there, P-notes route is there. So if we just look at the number $81 billion, yes, it looks good, but then there are other issues like this. Next issue is energy inefficiency. As of now, in India, energy efficiency has, yes, government is focusing on it, but overall focus from the civilians and others is less. In this context, the cooling demand and energy needs for cooling demand is increasing. We have this India Cooling Action Plan, which recognizes that by 2030, energy demand for cooling would increase 10 times by 2030. And cooling demand, for that, we use different kinds of gases, which can be categorized into greenhouse gases and ozone depleting gases. In this context, by maintaining energy efficiency, one, we can save the precious energy, two, we can reduce greenhouse gases and ODS. In that context, we should go for R&D, which can provide alternative cooling solutions, let's say building. So building designs can be changed to provide more cooling effect with less use of ACs, etc. And then providing awareness among the people going for more energy efficient appliances, etc. Next issue is right to be forgotten. Recently, there's a case in Delhi High Court in which a petitioner approached that, see, in one of your cases, I was given the judgment, but it's long back, and I have my right to privacy. People are not forgetting it. Whenever someone searches in the internet, my name and other details and the case details are coming up. I want to exercise my right to be forgotten. And then Delhi High Court is examining it. It said that right to be forgotten should be balanced with right of public to access the court records. Yes or no? In that context, what can be done ideally? The names and details of the person can be removed. After certain time, names and details of the person can be removed, not the entire court record. If we remove entire court record in the name of right to be forgotten, so that will again negate the right of public to access the court records. Now, the final issue is pseudoscience. Richard Feynman called pseudoscience as cargo cult science. India should promote scientific thinking, not the pseudoscience. DPSPs, direct to principles of state policy and our fundamental duties, they promote this scientific temper and thinking. In this context, India should move towards that. Indian leadership should be towards that. Yes. Thank you very much. All the very best.